Hello and welcome to So You Want to Start a Business, a podcast where we interview business owners, entrepreneurs, and other smart guests to learn insights and lessons from those who have already walked that startup path. I am your host, Ingrid Thompson, and it is my absolute pleasure to bring you these interviews. And I thank you for taking time in your day to spend time with us. As always, this show is brought to you by my book, which has the same name, So You Want to Start a Business. And you can grab an excerpt over at thestartupsteps.com or head straight to Amazon where they have the book and Kindle. You may even find it in your local bookshop. The audio version is on its way very soon. Are you ready to meet today's guest?
The one thing I wish I've done differently at the beginning was to believe in the value that we're providing to our clients. Keeping your head down at work and just getting stuff done is all you need to do. And being honest and transparent, clients will come to you, and you might think that there's a lot of noise out there. But honestly, if you're one of the good ones and one of the best ones, and you're a man of your craft or a lady of your craft, you will be able to, win businesses.
This is the voice of Mustafa El-Bermawy, and I have thought about what he says about keeping your head down and doing your best work and the impact that has on clients since we held this interview some weeks ago now. There is so much in this interview with Mustafa, and I am so incredibly grateful for his time and his generosity so that we can learn from his wisdom. Enough from me. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's take the next step to help make your dream business a reality. Good morning, good afternoon, Mustafa.
Good morning.
Because it's not morning where you are, is it? You're in New York and I am in Sydney, and I have just looked out Mustafa's window and he really is right there on the water in New York. It looked pretty fantastic. Good morning. So tell us, what business are you in? What is your business?
So I run a Berma & Co., which is a growth hacking agency based out of New York City, and mainly focused on helping SaaS and e-commerce business with growth.
Yep. And so just in terms of, if you were to explain that to someone who might not understand what that meant, what does that business actually do?
It's basically a digital marketing agency. But we mostly focused on using data and modern marketing tools and technologies to help your business grow. We also very data driven, and most of us are engineers turned marketers, and really use a growth hacking framework to grow your business fast and efficiently. We do that. We focus on SaaS and e-commerce businesses, and we utilize various channels such as paid, Facebook and search, and also organic channels, SEO. So the classic marketing stacks, but we do it in a data-driven way, and we grow it fast, and we have a proven framework that worked for many organizations.
Thank you for that. So even though it sounds like it's something quite different to some of the other businesses that have been on this podcast, a lot of the fundamentals are actually very similar, and we will explore that as we go through the questions. So when did you start this business?
I started about 1.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And why? Why did you start the business?
I worked in various growth marketing positions and ran marketing and growth departments for various organizations as a full-time employee and as a consultant. And I realized that there's a need for the type of service and I guess our approach to marketing and growth in general, and decided to document my proven and optimized process and turn that into a business.
Fantastic. And what did you personally want from this business from day one?
From day one, I wanted to be, happy and doing the type of work I like. I do like this growth rush and basically coming into a business and helping with their growth pains. And it's something that I'm good at. It's something that I like doing. And I also don't like to do it just for one brand. I like to do it for various brands because I simply get bored. So I just wanted to do that and bring in other people, like-minded people that would like to do the same thing. And we do it for the business that we like. So that's why I decided to do it.
That sounds pretty fantastic, doesn't it? So here's one of my favourite questions is, when did the business feel real? When did you actually feel like you were in business?
Oh, that's a great question. I guess maybe I realized that I was in business when, and this might sound weird, but when I fired our first client.
That's a great answer. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. Well, we're just getting too much work and maxed out on our bandwidth, which is, as an agency, a great thing. No complaints. But when you hit this point, you start thinking about who's your ideal client, where you have the best fit. Because our approach to growth hacking and marketing in general isn't, your typical digital shop agency. So realize that some of the clients that we had early on are just not really a good fit. We're not a good fit for them, and they're not a good fit for us as a client. So we're honest with them, and we help them, find other agencies. We did a really good transition plan and process, and we're still friends, but we told them, hey, we can no longer work together. And it did feel real, because it's not one of those common things that I've never done this before, and it's not something I realized that I'll do that fast. So it felt really real when I did that.
That's really nice. And have you done it since, or was that a one-off?
So far one-off. I hope I don't have to do it again. Hopefully we can just continue to grow our team and find the right client. But we're really open to doing it over and over until we find the right clients where we can provide value. If we can't provide value to any of our clients, eventually they will do it to us. So we're honest with our clients, and sometimes when we are the right fit, they come back to us.
It's so insightful to know that who are those right clients and what is the fit. And that brings me to my next question is, how did you know that customers wanted what this business was offering? So this is around this idea of, that the clients are there and that they want this very bespoke product. Well, it's actually a service, as you said. But how did you know that was needed there, that there was a need for your business?
I realized that right away, being, I guess, the head of marketing and growth for in various positions in SaaS companies in New York, and just like doing this service, I saw how organizations really needed it as a full-time hire, and also like looking at the amount of, I guess, demand I got as a head of marketing with I guess engineering and data background. Also being successful in these positions, I realized that I was like, wow, this is something that I can replicate and just not just do for one brand, I can do for various brands. Having that agency, I guess, hat and label makes you approach this business in a different way and approach brands in different ways. And I guess it was a challenge at the beginning, but I think we're at a good place at this point.
That's great. And so just a little bit of detail about those early days. How did you fund the business to start with? So, was it a transition or did you jump straight in?
So it starts as, I guess, before having the agency, I was a consultant. So it was a classic, I guess, story of consultant turned agency, where I had multiple clients as a consultant, and then started hiring people under me and full-time hires and part-time hires. And, you wake up the next day and you have an agency.
You have an agency. So how do you find new customers now? How do you know where they are? How do you find them? How do you know who they are?
I guess we're lucky that we've never done any marketing for ourselves. It's mostly referrals, and actually would like to keep it as that. As I said, it's really, we find the clients where we provide most value, and when we have happy customers and most of our customer base are really happy, we tend to get a lot of business from them, and refer their other businesses as well, and we make sure that we keep them as long as we're providing value.
And so can I ask, this is a question that wasn't on our list, and so what is it you believe you do that actually provides the great value to your customers and to your clients? Like, what is it that you're doing that's making them very happy? Not the specifics of kind of like which data you look at and things, but what philosophically, how is it that you keep your customers so happy?
I guess our approach, again, I think transparency and really like looking at the client's pains, listening to them, and then telling them, I can provide value here, or I cannot provide value. And having done the same thing over and over to many clients, and really like optimize your framework and build a process that you know is bulletproof and battle tested. It's makes you really good at providing this value when needed. So we know when we can provide value and how, and we do it fast, and we're some of the best at it, and would like to continue to do that. And you know, we try to stay ahead of the curve, find the latest and the greatest techniques and processes. And I guess this is how we stay on top, and transparency and reporting on these metrics when we have a good thing, also reporting on the bad metrics when we have them. And having that open and transparent communication just makes the client trust you, and makes you reliable, which is, I guess, as a business owner now, I really appreciate a reliable partner, someone that I can trust and just, you know, delegate something to, knowing that they will take care of it as if it's their own business.
And what you just said applies to any business at all, really, doesn't it? It's really business fundamentals 101. Have your processes be bulletproof, be reliable, do what you say you're going to do, listen to what your clients want. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Those are the fundamentals, aren't they?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nothing innovative. It just, you know, good classic old business. But honestly, you'll be surprised how, you know, very few businesses are doing that out there.
It's really interesting, isn't it? How it really is basics that is what wins the clients. When today people are looking for clever and smart, and yet, you know, it really doesn't need to be that, does it? It just needs to be good old-fashioned business sense. Thank you for that. I hope everybody listening has taken good note of that. So can we talk a little bit about pricing? And you don't need to tell us how much people pay, but how do you decide? What's the process you use for deciding a pricing strategy for the business for the early days, and then, you know, 18 months later?
So in the early days, I actually let the clients decide the framework of payment themselves. So we did hourly rates, we did retainers, we did per project basis. And we always just came back to them with feedback and what would be the best approach. So it really depends on the type of projects we're embarking upon. But now we do have, you know, a framework that we knew would be ideal for the type of service we provide, and also is good for the relationship that we're building with these clients. We are building a long-term relationship, and we want to find the ideal framework of payment that really makes us have this, you know, reliable partnership, as I mentioned. So that's really how we tested various frameworks and approaches to pricing, and we found the one that works best for us. And also, again, from a revenue and profitability perspective, and at the same time from a value delivery perspective, we know what we provide. If what we provide is I guess overpriced, I guess our pricing is overpriced, and we're not providing the value these businesses are expecting, we will lose these clients eventually. So just a matter of having the right framework, the right pricing that is sustainable and good for both businesses.
No, that's terrific. Thank you. An exit strategy. I know it's only 18 months, but do you have a longer term view of where this could go?
I guess, I don't know if it's unfortunately or fortunately, but with agencies, exits are hard. So I haven't thought of it yet. I love the business and I would like to continue to grow it. But yeah, if someone comes tomorrow and offers a big chunk of money, I guess I'll have to think about it. But it's so far I haven't thought much about it, and you know, it's maybe someday I'll have to.
Yeah, but it's for now you're just having a great time providing the value, doing what you're doing. Let's have some reflective questions. So is there one thing you really wish you had done differently at the beginning?
The one thing I wish I've done differently at the beginning was to believe in the value that we're providing to our clients. A lot of the time you think that there are a lot of agencies out there, everyone is doing the same thing, everyone is as good as you are. And that's often not true. You know, dealing with agencies before and just really like writing down and I guess documenting your process that you know it worked for you, building the right processes, hiring the right team, and just, you know, keeping your head down at work and just getting stuff done is all you need to do. And being honest and transparent, clients will come to you, and you might think that there's a lot of noise out there, but honestly, if you're one of the good ones and one of the best ones, and you're a man of your craft or a lady of your craft, you will be able to, you know, win businesses.
That is just such sound wisdom. Thank you for that. And this is a slightly different question. Is there something you wish you'd known at the start? It's a little bit different to what you've done differently, but is there something, if somebody had told you about it at the beginning, it would have made a difference to the ongoing business?
Yeah, I mean, I wish someone told me that, you know, 30% of my time will go to administrative, you know, administrative work as business owner. It's just like there's some stuff that you never thought that you would have to do. You know, working as, you know, as a head of marketing or for different brands, there's all sort of administrative work that people take care of for you. And now that you're running the business, there's like so many bills you have to pay, and, you know, having to keep like finances and maintain papers and legal stuff. It just like, it's stuff that I'm not a fan of that I have to do. And I wish someone told me, hey, running a business isn't just, you know, doing the things you love. You actually have to do a lot of things that you don't like. But yeah, I mean, you know, the things you have to do to do the things you love, I guess.
And it's true. I often think that no matter what we do, there's always the bad bits, or I always refer to it as the filing. You know, there's always that stuff. In the old days when we had paper, somebody had to do the filing. And I just, you know, everything, there's always filing. You know, it's emptying the dishwasher, or there's, you know, whatever it is that's, you know, the least of the, there's just that stuff to do, isn't there?
Yeah, and it's the other thing is that I'm bad at it, and I have to work on being good at it. So yeah.
Yeah, one of my guests a long time ago, she said that you're the, you know, that you're in charge of everything, and you know, if you don't realise that, you know, just how important that is. Yesterday, I was doing something online, and there was a thing that said it's going to take you 40 seconds to do this. And 2.5 hours later, you know, it would have taken me 40 seconds if I'd had exactly the right information. But because I didn't have, and that's where the admin time just disappears, isn't it? Is that you end up spending a lot longer on something than you think you're going to have to. So, Mustafa, who, apart from yourself, has been the greatest assistance to you in your business? And you can either name names, or you can name kind of people in general. Like, yeah, who has been of greatest assistance to you?
My greatest asset, like in a personal level, I guess, my girlfriend been very helpful in the business early on, and you know, just being consultant, someone that, you know, they having a different perspective as I guess a student of law. So that's something that, you know, been really helpful early on. Also other mentors and clients that I guess that believe in us as a company and as business, and running their own businesses have provided a lot of value, and, you know, just told me, Mustafa, this is the way you should be doing it. This is, you know, my advice to you on this and that. Here's accountant to use. So just building these types of relationships with clients have actually been super, super helpful early on.
Yeah, really nice. And who gives you feedback? It's kind of, you know, it's not really assistant, but who can give you some tough or good, useful feedback?
It's honestly, like one of the things that we always try to do is get feedback from everyone we can get feedback from that matters a lot. It, we're constantly asking our clients for feedback. Hey, did we suck at this? Did we do this the right way? Did we meet your expectations here? What do you think
Nice.
we can do there? So all these questions are constantly like, constantly being asked of our clients. And I make sure now as someone who's running the business, to ask these questions constantly if my team is not asking it.
And I have to just say, I love the sound of that siren. That's
Yeah.
such a New York sound, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Every day.
Every day. So Mustafa, if someone comes to you and they say to you, I am thinking about starting a business, what would you say to them?
Someone comes to me and asks, I'll tell them do it. It's the one thing. If you have something to offer and that you think you're good at and you love doing, just start doing it. And again, keep your head down at business. Continue to do it. Be honest and transparent. Open to feedback. Put your ego aside, and really like just put the hours needed to get it done. You will have iterative learnings and iterative improvements, and eventually you will have the business that you're dreaming of.
That's lovely. Thank you. 3 characteristics that you have that make you successful, and I think I could almost answer this for you right now, given what you said, but what do you think your 3 key characteristics are that have made you successful?
Oh, I mean, I'm surprised. Like I don't think it's as easy for me as I guess you notice it. You probably know it better. It's hard to like think of your own characteristics, but I guess just loving the work I do is I guess one characteristic that is making me good at what I do. Another one is I guess being open and transparent about business and hopefully life in general. I like to think that. Another one is, I can't think of another one. I guess I'm bad at this. What do you think?
Well, it'd be interesting to hear what the, so if you're listening right now and you're thinking what the 3rd characteristic for Mustafa is, you could maybe, send us a message. But I think listening to you and having, heard what you've said there about business is you truly care about your clients and you care about that relationship. To me, it sounds like that's something that's very important to you, that you love what you do, but it's not just a business that's generating money and making stuff. You actually care about the people that are involved in their businesses. Like there's something around that, I think, that sounds like a characteristic of yours in terms of, humankind and business and respect and something tied up there. How does that sound?
I would agree with that. It's and also comes from the fact that I love what I do and I take pride in doing it. So I want to be, the best at it. And at the same time, I really appreciate these people trusting me with doing it.
Yeah.
So I never want to fail them. These people are in business the same way I'm in business. They don't want to fail either. They want to make sure that they build the right business, and now they relied on me to help them that happen. And I love doing it. So why not meet their expectations and care about their business and making it happen?
That's lovely. And I think that's what comes out in talking to you in this interview. Thank you so much. So as we draw this to a close, is there anything else that I haven't asked you about your business or about your philosophy about business? Thinking about our audience, who are people who are in the early stage or who are considering getting started in business. Maybe they haven't taken the leap or they're kind of dabbling with a bit of a side hustle. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we finish?
Not really. You've asked everything that I can think of about our business at this point, but I'm very thankful for the opportunity, and I'm glad I got to talk to you and your audience. Oh
my gosh, I am so inspired. I am going to keep my head down for the rest of the day. There is going to be no distractions. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope everybody listening has been able to take away. I think your message is so deliciously solid about just doing the right thing for people. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for your time as well.
Thank you so much for listening. What's your favourite moment in this interview? I have so many, and of course, the comment about keep your head down is one of my favourites. Mustafa is another who is very surprised by how much time the admin takes up, how consuming it is. And what about his answer to when did you realise you were in business? When he fired that first client. That certainly would have been quite a moment in business. I trust you have found benefit from this interview, and as always, you can find a full transcript of the podcast over at my website, healthynumbers.com.au. There's links and show notes. And before you go, let me please ask you, do you crave the actionable steps to help you get started in your business? What to do next? Are you looking for someone who truly gets what it's like to actually start a business? Someone who knows what to do and when, and to help you get your business off the ground? Then head over to my website, healthynumbers.com.au. When you get to the website, you'll find the business checklist ready to download so you can avoid the common mistakes so many others make when starting a business. I use this checklist with my clients, and the feedback from them is that it is terrific. So I want to share that with you as well. What are you waiting for? Jump onto the website, healthynumbers.com.au, download that checklist and start building the business of your dreams today. As we always say, ideas without action, well, they're just that, aren't they? They're just ideas. What action are you inspired to take today? Till the next time, thanks so much for listening.